Shalom, shalom. In today's video, I wanted to reveal some of the manuscripts that I've personally handwritten. I've written many tomes, and I've been a student and a teacher of the mysteries for a very, very long time. So with that being said, I'd like to get into this. So to begin with, what you see in front of you is one of my manuscripts. Every one of my manuscripts were handmade for me. I myself being the actual writer of the books, but the books were bound, custom made, each one unique, specifically for me to have written inside of them what I have written inside of them. Now, this particular manuscript is entirely gold on the inside. I'll give you guys a glimpse of some of the pages. And each one of the books cover different mysteries. Many of them are in Hebrew. Very few sections are in English. Some of my other texts, of course, are in English. But they cover a variety of mysteries that are relevant to the language. So this is essentially your Aleph to Tav and Kabbalistic understandings for all of the letters. We'll go ahead and go a little bit deeper into the book. We'll find sections on the trees. Perhaps you guys have seen some of these books in some of my previous videos. Each one of these books took me roughly, I'd say, 3 to 6 months to complete. And they cover a variety of different Kabbalistic mysteries, ranging from the Word, which most of my books are composite on. If you've seen my video on the cross, you will recognize some of these symbols that are in there. This particular book is covered in gold leaf and silver leaf. And they stick together, the pages stick together, but that comes with the territory. Some of my other books are in much higher grade gold leafing. And this particular book has to deal with the mysteries of the Word. Essentially, what you guys are looking at is Aleph separates Mem from Shin. Many of the other mysteries, how it's relating to everything. It goes through all of the letters, covering Aleph to Tav, their blendings, how they came together. This is the letter Beit, air, house, water, as we know. So on and so forth. So I'll skip a little bit further to save some time, so we're not taking too much time in this particular text. Kabbalistic diagrams regarding the tree, certain esoteric sections regarding concepts that are expressed inside of the Zohar, the seed and Klippa, different mysteries from the Zohar, as stated. Some of you guys might recognize some of these images coming up. I've used them at the beginning of my videos sometimes. The 72 name, many of its mysteries. We'll go on a little bit further. There's sections on the 231 gates, so I'll do a light reveal on that. And as I stated, each one of these books took roughly 3 to 6 months to complete. I've been doing this for many years. This is not only a hobby, but a passion of mine. And I've been involved with the esoteric mysteries for many, many, many years. I don't know if you've seen my previous videos, but I gave lectures on Kabbalah on live television many years ago, roughly 8 years ago. So yeah, we're covering mysteries from the 231 gates here, tree on top of a tree, etc., etc., etc. This particular book was intended to be a gold book. The reason being is because of a dream that my wife had, and in the dream I was teaching from a golden book, and it inspired me to create a golden book. and that became a reality, as you can see. Yeah, there's many mysteries that are covered here. So with that being said, I'm not going to go any further into it. This covers this book. Many of you have seen my video covering this tome. It has RC, and it has the papal keys and a tree of life on the back of it. This is all one piece of leather, is hand bound, and I wrote this book many years ago covering a variety of Kabbalistic mysteries, covering the book of Revelation, all of the tarot, and many other different mysteries. We'll go deep into it and get all the way to the end. Let's see where the book of Revelation is, way back here. And it's all the way thoroughly through. It is complete. It is to the end. This book here took about a year to complete. They are all linear. They aren't scattered in terms of thoughts or anything else like you would think of with a journal or some other type of text like that. If you guys have seen my video on the immortal man, he is in this book towards the very end. There he is, the immortal man. And yeah, this is the end of it. So I'll reveal one last major tome that I have. So this tome is my 7th book. This one is my 6th book. And the back of this book has the Tree of Life, and that's where this one begins at. And I'm not going to reveal too much from this book because this book contains a large majority of the most esoteric mysteries. And this video is not the place for those mysteries, but I'll give you guys a small glimpse. So this book here is another golden book as well. I'm not going to go into much of its mysteries as stated, just to reveal it. It has a Tree of Life on the front of it. It's marked with the Star of David on the side of it. Probably weighs about 10 pounds or so. And yes, this is my 7th tome. And then this book here was my 2nd book. And this book covered a lot of the talismanic tradition. You'll see a lot of Kabbalistic talismans that are seen in the lower and upper keys. I became very familiar with them in my younger years. I studied many different forms of Kabbalistic talismans and many different Kabbalistic talisman traditions, and this book contains a large variety of those Kabbalistic traditions. Some of them were from Jesuit systems, some of them were from actual authentic Kabbalistic systems, sigils for angels, and all kinds of different interesting things that are very dangerous. And I also don't encourage anybody to use any of these talismanic traditions. So yeah, with all that being said, we'll leave it at that. And so this is my 2nd book. This was my 7th book. This was my 6th book. And this one was my 8th book. Perhaps in a future video I will share some of my other tomes that I've handwritten, and everything here that's been presented is exactly as it is. So, Shalom Salah.